Hi, my name is John Platero and I'm the CEO for the National Council for Certified Personal Trainers. Most sports involve jumping, and if you think about it, jumping is more of a high-intensity activity. Of course, it depends on the height, speed, and frequency of the jump, but it's definitely more intense than walking. Box jumps are a fun way to challenge your clients and increase their balance, power, and explosiveness. Since it's a high-intensity activity, your client may also get the effects of EPOC, or excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. This will, of course, depend on the volume and intensity of the jumps. But remember, it's not just practice that makes perfect, it's perfect practice that makes it perfect. So we filmed a few examples of some box jumps to give you some ideas. Always remember to assess the client holistically or as a whole, but also to specifically observe the ankle, the knee, the pelvis, and the spine. It's often difficult to assess clients depending on what they're wearing because you can't see their joints. Hopefully, they wear shorts or something form-fitting. If they're wearing high-top sneakers, I often assess the ankle from behind by looking at the heel. Now don't forget the upper body, because the arms and shoulders can also help propel us as humans in biolocomotion. When teaching someone to do box jumps, we recommend you just start on the floor with no box at all. Once you assess that they are able to jump and land safely, you can then introduce a box or a step or something with some height. If you introduce something unstable, lower the height. Try and only introduce one variable at a time. In this case, we're using a step which is about 12 inches high. Since the normal height of a stair is about 8 inches, this step is a little higher. You can also use different types of structures to jump on and off. For example, if someone has orthopedic issues, you can modify the jump by having them land on a mini tramp or a softer surface. Be very careful adding height to a step or box. It's difficult to spot or catch someone if they fall, so be careful. Okay, let's get started.
Always assess the quality of the jump, not just the height. Monitor the ankle, knee, hip, and spine for both the takeoff and the landing. Let's take a closer look at how the knee performs in both the takeoff and the landing in a jump. You almost need to be able to watch this or envision this in slow motion. So let's do that. In slow motion, you're looking to see if the knee adducts in takeoff or landing. Stephanie does a great job here, and her knee doesn't really adduct on takeoff or landing. But let's investigate this topic a little further.
Often when you watch people do box jumps, when they jump or land, you'll see their knees cave in. This could be a variety of reasons. It could be a motor pattern that they just adapted. It could be a weakness, but it also could be just the levers. Some people that have long legs, when they squat and their hip goes down, the distance from the hip to the knee is so long, imagine if my legs were longer, that it's hard for them to stabilize this femur, and so when they jump, their knees cave in, and when their knees cave in, the distance between this knee and the hip becomes less. So for example, if I go down here and the moment arm from here to here is this long, if I bring my knee inwards, it gets shorter. So be careful of that, because ACL ruptures or tears occur when the knee caves in, from either caving in when you drive to jump or caving in when you descend. So be aware of that. Be aware of how your client is built, especially women. And if you look at Stephanie, the model we're using in this video, her legs and arms are very long compared to her torso.
Now we're adding a component of rotation. She's basically doing a 90-degree turn and jumping up to the step. So let's watch the landing in this 90-degree turn in slow motion. She takes off, and you can see she doesn't really make the 90 degrees. So she tries to adjust with her left knee and tries to even torque her ankle a little bit. These are the things you need to look for when you're working with your clients. For an additional challenge, go from a 90-degree to a 180-degree turn. Remember, it's harder to execute the jump from the ground to the step than from the step to the ground. Let's make it a little harder, and we'll do a 3/4 turn. Now your clients are going to have to use their upper extremity or their upper body to help propel them. The next progression would be a 360 turn. We're doing this on the ground because she couldn't really make it to the box. You can see the first time she wasn't able to complete it, but the second time she did it. There are so many ways you can use a box for jumping. In this case, we're just having Stephanie jump and land backwards. You can also use a box or a step as a piece of cardio. You'll see Stephanie using it in 2 different ways. It's an excellent portable way to use cardio in between resistance exercises. So all the best to you, and stay fit.